Welcome to Medical Crib episode 18. Today we'll be talking on tuberculosis. I have with me a team from Max Vaishali Pulmonology team. Dr. Sharad, who's a principal consultant, associate consultant, Dr. Ankit and Dr. Nitish, who will be sharing about tuberculosis. So keep watching. What is the importance of World Tuberculosis Day?
We need to understand that on 24th March 1882, this German scientist Robert Koch, actually the microbiologist, first time could find out what is actually the bacteria which is causing tuberculosis. And we named it as Mycobacterium tuberculi. And to commemorate this particular day, WHO since 1995 started commemorating this day by the name of World Tuberculosis Day to actually increase public awareness about tuberculosis and to emphasize that how much it's a threat to public health and what it needs attention of, right? So that is how we know what is the importance of this day in the field of medical science, in the field of public health, and to make public aware about the threat and seriousness of tuberculosis even in this 21st century.
Yeah. Like you said, that it is one of the biggest infectious disease. Tuberculosis is one of the biggest among the 10 infectious disease. If you see the statistics, and every day 4,000 people are dying and 27,000 people are getting ill because of the tuberculosis. So, Dr. Sharad, so what are the causes of tuberculosis?
As I mentioned, that the cause is only one. This bacteria, particularly the bacteria Mycobacterium tuberculi, is the bacteria which is causing tuberculosis. Now, as a disease, tuberculosis can affect right from head to toe any part of the body, but the causative will remain only one, that is bacteria, the Mycobacterium tuberculosis. And the disease spreads by the aerosols. So any patient who is suffering from tuberculosis of lung, whenever he coughs, he actually brings out lot of droplets, which actually contains lot of tubercular bacilli, and these droplets can remain suspended in the air for even 3 weeks, and especially in a or uh, damp environment, these suspended particles and this bacteria can be viable even for 3 weeks. So any person entering such a environment, whenever he inhales, the bacteria goes in the new patient, new person, and then it remains in the inside the host body. It is how it affects.
Okay. Dr. Nitish, to be more specific, could you please explain us how does the tuberculosis spread or how is it infectious?
Yeah, so the answer to my question is almost given by Dr. Sharath, but to add on it, so tuberculosis basically spreads by droplets. It's an airborne disease. So whenever a patient infected with tuberculosis coughs out, the bacteria it spreads in air and which then inhaled by an healthy individual, leading to infection. So now, as Sharat sir has already told, it can infect almost any part of our body, and lungs being the most common site of this tuberculosis infection.
Right.
So,
What are the treatment available for tuberculosis?
for tuberculosis, there are highly efficacious drugs which are available. Basically, it is treated with anti-tubercular drugs. But the most important thing for the treatment of tuberculosis is to take the right drugs for and in right doses and for right duration. So this is the most important dictum which we can say. These drugs are available free of cost at all the government dot centers. Patient needs to take these medications usually for around about 6 months, and these medicines are to be taken regularly without any gap under the proper supervision of the doctors. And uh, these drugs, if taken regularly under proper supervision, leads to a proper cure of the disease.
Dr. Ankit, I wanted to ask you that how is the test done, or what are the diagnostic tests that we do in tuberculosis? So would you also tell what are the symptoms, so that and how the test is done?
There is no single test as to for every kind of a tuberculosis or for any tuberculosis of the body. There is no single test as to determine. First of all, the doctor needs to know the symptoms, and first of all, we need to know by the clinical history whether the symptoms can be because of tuberculosis or not. Secondly, tuberculosis is only detected finally when you find a bacteria, the tubercular bacteria, under a microscope, or when it is cultured in the laboratory. Then only we can definitely say that this is a case of tuberculosis. There are indirect tests to determine whether patient can have the effect of tuberculosis or not. For example, if you are suspecting pulmonary tuberculosis or a tuberculosis of the lungs, then you do a chest x-ray and you see whether the TB has caused a pneumonia or not. Then the final diagnosis is reached by examination of the patient's sputum. There are, if you, for example, if you have lymph node tuberculosis, then you do a needle examination and see under the microscope whether you have a TB bacteria or not. So depending upon the site of the tuberculosis, the various tests are done. Various other tests are there which can detect whether you have an infection with TB or not, whether you are suffering from the disease or not, like a Montauk test or a PPT test as it is known. So there's no single test for every kind of tuberculosis. It depends upon what organ you are suspecting, what type of disease you are suspecting.
Dr. Ankit, would you tell us that how is the, I mean, who's the one who spreads the infection? As in there's a specific period of time when the medication has been taken. So meanwhile, does the person spread the infection?
A TB infection can be spread by droplets. What happens is whenever a patient with a TB who is harboring the bacteria inside the body coughs or talks with somebody, or he is in close contact with his family members or a co-workers, what he can do is he can spread the TB bacilli in the air. So the TB bacilli remains suspended into the air for a very, very long time. And if that TB bacilli is there in a space where there is very poor ventilation or there is very poor sunlight, then it can spread from one person to another person. And that person, if his immunity is low or if is in very close contact with some other person who has tuberculosis, he can contract that same infection from another body. So it spreads from a person to person with close contact.
Dr. Sharad, is there any preventive vaccine for tuberculosis, or how do we prevent it? Like, is there any vaccine for it?
Actually, there is a vaccine for tuberculosis given as preventive vaccine, BCG vaccine, which is also part of essential preventive vaccination program of our country. The most essential 6 vaccines which are given under any government plan. But the issue with the BCG vaccine is activated bacteria. So it is a mild form of tubercular bacteria, which imparts certain level of immunity, but it is not 100% efficacious. So efficiency, there have been many meta-analysis and studies that how much a BCG vaccine actually can protect to a person. So there are various reports that right from 50% to 80% protection we get with BCG vaccination, but that is only against the serious or the most serious form of tuberculosis, like tuberculosis of meningitis, tubercular meningitis, or brain TB, or disseminated tuberculosis. But the more common tuberculosis like lungs, TB of the lungs, is not protected because of the BCG vaccination. So the vaccine is there. It is universally being given to Indian population. It is being given in a lot of developing countries, but the protection is still questionable. It just protects against the very, very serious form of tuberculosis.
What are the risk factors for tuberculosis?
So any person can get tuberculosis. There is nothing like a stigma behind it. It's like any person can get tuberculosis. The lifetime risk of getting tuberculosis for a normal person will remain 10% for the lifetime. But people who are living with HIV infection, people who are on high doses steroids, people who are getting immunosuppressant drugs, people who have diabetes, or any kind of immunosuppression or immunodeficiency disease are really at very high risk for tuberculosis. But overall, any person can get tuberculosis.
Dr. Nitish, how can we control tuberculosis, or what are the early things that we can preventive things that measures that we can do? How can we
So,
detect early?
tuberculosis can be easily controlled, but by early diagnosis and a proper treatment. So, early diagnosis is very essential part of the disease control, because if you can diagnose the patients early, you can treat them early, and they will cause less uh, spreading to the society and other members. So, persons who are having any fever or cough for 2 or more weeks, with or without other constitutional symptoms like loss of appetite or weight loss, these should visit their doctors and should undergo sputum examination. And after the confirmation of the diagnosis, tuberculosis should properly cover their mouths while coughing or sneezing with mask, or they can use handkerchiefs so as to prevent the spread of the infection to the other members. So this is how we can prevent the spread of the disease. And again, early diagnosis is very essential for the proper prevention of this disease.
Dr. Sharad, as we see the statistics that tuberculosis disease has been increasing, and many may think that how do we get a treatment for it? And what do you think is the schemes that government has taken for this tuberculosis and for the tuberculosis patient?
Actually, if you see, the problem with tuberculosis, especially in our country, had been huge. And it's not only the health problem. Apart from health issues, it has also imparted a lot of economic burden on the society as well as on the government. So considering entire devastation caused by tuberculosis, because even the families are affected. It's not that one person in the family is affected, the entire family is getting affected because of tuberculosis. And later on, then government realized. And since 1962, we have a public health program to control tuberculosis, which was renamed in 1997 as a revised national tuberculosis program. And later on, government also started with DOTS program, which was directly observed treatment short course. So because there were some compliance issues that patient used to leave their treatment in the midway just after the partial improvement. So it was very improvement in their condition. So the government came up with the idea of DOTS, so that the entire therapy of 6 months or 9 months could be directly observed and monitored. So this revised national tuberculosis program was very, very good to control tuberculosis. Later on in last year in 2020, this was renamed as NETP, or National End Tuberculosis Program. So there are various health programs time to time were taken care of the public health. Government has been providing free diagnostic tests, free laboratories services, and free treatment services. So in at public health centers, at DOT centers, at PSC level, government and healthcare workers could provide everything free. Even they came up with ideas that there should be electronic boxes. So whenever patient consumes the tablet, a feedback system will generate, and the feedback will go to the healthcare uh, administrator that the patient has actually taken tablet at home. So these kind of developments has been done at all levels by the government. But there are few hurdles, because we cannot completely control. The problem is with the public education, with the stigma, the problem we actually faced during the COVID times. We will be talking about this later on. But definitely government and private sector both sides of health services in India has to come side by side and fight against this tuberculosis.
Dr. Nitish, what are the problem like Dr. Sharad said about? So what are the side effects or what are the problems that that we face when we give the treatment for the tuberculosis patient, or what are the side effects of tuberculosis drugs?
Okay, so what I think is the major problem with tuberculosis treatment is the duration of the treatment. So for any kind sort of tuberculosis, we need to take the treatment for at least 6 months, and 6 months is quite a long duration for the patients to regularly take their medications. So first thing is the duration. Then second thing is the pill burden. As we know that the tuberculosis drugs can be broadly divided into first line and second line tuberculosis drugs, and there is no single drug which is effective for tuberculosis. We have to take a combination of multiple drugs. Like for drug sensitive tuberculosis, we need to take at least 4 different drugs. So it increases to the pill burden. So the number of drugs you need to take are more and for a longer duration. Now, another issue or problem with tuberculosis treatment is the patient needs to have a good compliance. We need to have a good compliance so as the patient should take proper drugs in proper doses and for a duration of at least 6 months. Now, as far as side effects are concerned, tuberculosis drugs have various side effects ranging from milder ones like nausea or vomitings, gastritis, and all. Along with there are these drugs also affect our liver. There are liver derangements. Then few drugs may cause visual impairment, and few drugs may lead to joint pains and likewise.
Dr. Ankit, is alcohol and smoking a risk factor for tuberculosis?
Um, See, in literature, it is known that smoking and alcohol both are very negative for tuberculosis patients. Patients who are alcoholic, who take alcohol in regular basis, do develop tuberculosis in more incidences than the normal population. Patients who take alcohol, who have more side effects of tuberculosis medications, and the outcome of treatment of tuberculosis is considered not good in patients who are regular alcohol drinkers. As regards to smoking, what smoking does is it decreases the local immunity of the respiratory system. So we have some cells called as cilia into the respiratory system, which help to take out the harmful particles inside from the respiratory tract to the outside world. In smokers, what happens is these cilia or the defense cells in the respiratory tract of the body are dysfunctional or they do not work in good amounts. So patients who smoke are at more risk of developing tuberculosis. They are more at a risk to develop consequences of tuberculosis. And it is also known that patients who are on treatment with tuberculosis, who smoke or do alcohol, have more treatment failures, and the treatment outcomes of these patients are not good. So patients who do regularly smoke or do alcohol should refrain from these two things when they develop tuberculosis.
Can tuberculosis reoccur? If a patient had tuberculosis, can it happen again?
Reoccurrence of tuberculosis is known when you developed tuberculosis after you complete your whole treatment and you are considered cured. Yes, you can develop tuberculosis again and again. The risk factors is the same as what you were there when you developed tuberculosis in the first time. So developing tuberculosis once does not give you any immunity from developing tuberculosis again. So you can get tuberculosis again even after some time after completing the treatment of the first tuberculosis. So it depends upon the immunity, depends upon the exposure. So you can get tuberculosis again and again if you don't follow the necessary precautions.
Okay. Dr. Nitish, what is MDR and XDR?
Okay, so as I'd already said, that tuberculosis drugs can be divided into two groups: first line and second line drugs. So, MDR or multi drug resistant tuberculosis is when the patient is infected with Mycobacterium tuberculosis, which is resistant to two first line drugs, that is rifampicin and isoniazid. So if any patient, any person or patient who is infected with this Mycobacterium tuberculosis, which is resistant to rifampicin and isoniazid, we label them as as multi-drug resistant or MDR tuberculosis. Now, as far as XDR is concerned, XDR or extensively drug-resistant tuberculosis, these are those patients who are infected with Mycobacterium tuberculosis, which is resistant to isoniazid, rifampicin, along with second-line drugs like fluoroquinolones and second-line and injectables such as amikacin, kanamycin, or capreomycin. So these are labeled as extensively drug-resistant tuberculosis or the XDR tuberculosis patients.
Dr. Sharath, is MDR and XDR curable?
Uh, yes, MDR and XDR is curable. I cannot name is that it's not curable or it's a death sentence. Certainly, it's not a death sentence. It is curable. But the first important point which we need to understand is that MDR or XDR tuberculosis is actually a man-made problem. And how it is a man-made problem, I will explain that any patient who has not adequately completed his treatment is actually creating a problem of MDR or XDR. One thing. Or any treating doctor, whether it is general physician or a chest specialist or any PSC doctor or a government doctor, who has given inadequate doses or inadequate duration of the treatment for the treatment of tuberculosis is actually creating the problem of MDR and XDR. So MDR tuberculosis or XDR tuberculosis is actually a man-made problem. Unfortunately, it has become enormous on amount. It is a threat, and the maximum cases of MDR, XDR cases we do get in our country. But certainly, with second-line drugs, as mentioned by Dr. Nitesh, and proper monitoring and treatment for MDR is still minimum 12 months, and it can actually extend up to 24 months. So it's a very, very long duration of treatment. And the drugs which are used for treatment of MDR or XDR, they are actually more toxic. They have more serious side effects. So it's definitely a difficult problem. So it is always better that prevention of MDR or XDR is important. But certainly MDR cases or XDR cases, I cannot say that they are not treatable or they are not curable. They are curable, but the treatment is very, very difficult.
How can we prevent MDR?
As I mentioned, that MDR, XDR is a man-made problem. So if a patient gets first-time tuberculosis with a normal bacteria, which is sensitive to all four drugs, you give any person who is treating this patient should check the weight of the patient, adjust his doses according to his weight, and give it for the proper duration. In the meanwhile, if patient develops any side effect with these drugs, then certainly they can be reversed for a duration with other drugs, but the treatment regime has to be extended as per the guidelines. So it is very, very important that whoever is the treating doctor, they should be well versed with the latest updated guideline for treating tuberculosis. And as we see that you started a patient on ATT or a drugs for tuberculosis, and after 2 months patient got a good response, and his weight, which was previously 40 kg, now is more than 60 kg, and he is still taking the doses as adjusted for the weight of 40 kg. So actually after 2 months of treatment, patient is underdosed. So you have to readjust his doses according to his weight, and that is how we can prevent MDR or XDR. Right treatment, right doses, right duration of primary tuberculosis, of a normal tuberculosis, of a sensitive tuberculosis will certainly prevent MDR or XDR.
As we see that COVID-19 is the second year of COVID-19 pandemic, and there was a lot of awareness about it. There was a lot of hype about it. How did it affect or how did it affect the tuberculosis patient? Do you think there was a decrease in the treatment for tuberculosis patient?
Actually, you have to see one scenario that tuberculosis is one disease which has got its own stigma. People try to hide that I am affected with tuberculosis or I am suffering from tuberculosis. The similar stigma was initially there for COVID as well. And unfortunately, any respiratory infection will have similar symptoms: cough, fever, breathlessness. So these are common symptoms. So these kind of symptoms overlapping during pandemics can actually create more confusion. And because of the stigma, people or the patient will not come out with their problem, that I might be stigmatized that I have got COVID or I have got tuberculosis. So stigma has definitely prevented from early diagnosis or early presentation of patients. Now, during COVID, what has happened is that entire health resources were actually under pressure. So government was under pressure. There was lockdown. There was lot of cases. So there was rising trend of cases across the country. So what has to be done that every the people who were actually involved in carrying out tuberculosis control program, they were diverted to control COVID. The machinery which were used in laboratory for diagnosing tuberculosis, like a gene expert, the system was diverted to check for the RT-PCR for COVID. The same way there was lockdown, the private clinics were closed, the doctors were shifted, even the patients were, or the population was also migrating. So the proper treatment and diagnosis of tuberculosis during the COVID era was hampered. One thing. Second, there are the availability of drug had become an issue because the dot center or the government centers and PSCs were running, but not that efficiently as it could normally be. So during the COVID time, it was all affected. So availability of drug was an issue. Availability of money to buy drugs was an issue. So these kind of things have actually created trouble. I'll tell you one scenario where we faced this patient who presented in last September 2020. He was admitted in a very bad shape in our hospital in ICU, and he was found to be COVID positive. We checked his X-ray and there were some typical signs of tuberculosis. We checked his sputum and it was tuberculosis. So when we inquired more, this patient confessed that his weight was continuously going down for last 8 months. But because of lockdown, he was living alone and he could not inform anybody, and he never contacted any health authority. So like in 6 to 8 months duration, when he was actually hiding, he was residing alone, he actually worsened the disease of tuberculosis in his body. And it was very difficult to treat his COVID, which was severe form, and a tuberculosis, which was actually very, very bad in last 8 months. But somehow with medical help and with God's grace, he improved, he went home. But definitely COVID pandemic has affected tuberculosis badly. There are only few things which actually had affected positively also during COVID. Like we have seen in our medical setup that the cases of road traffic accident had gone down during COVID because there was no traffic on the road. The people were not going out on the roads. So definitely the road traffic accident has gone down. Same way, because of COVID fear, people were using masks. They were covering their face. They were not spitting around. So spread of tuberculosis might have gone down, but the existing problems were actually worsening.
Dr. Nitish, should you tell us what are the preventive measures a person should take in order to prevent tuberculosis?
Okay, so the patients who are infected with tuberculosis, particularly, they should properly cover their faces while coughing or sneezing. They should regularly do proper hand hygiene. They should properly wash their hands, particularly after coughing or sneezing. And there should be a proper ventilation where these patients live. then the society should be aware of the symptoms so that the patients who are having these symptoms should early seek help. They should visit their doctors, which can lead to the early case detections. And finally, once they are diagnosed, then they should start having proper treatment. And I will again emphasize on the importance of a proper treatment in the form of right drugs for a right duration and in right doses. This is the most important thing, I think, which would lead to the proper treatment of these patients. Now, once the patients are properly treated, then definitely there would be a less chances that they would spread the infection. So this is it.
So, I would request all of you to tell a take home message for the people out there. So, Dr. Sharath, we'll start with you.
One point is that whenever the treatment for tuberculosis is started, the patient remains infectious even till 4 to 6 weeks. So you should not consider it, okay, I had started my treatment yesterday and now I am not spreading the infection to anybody. It's not. The bacteria of tuberculosis, actually it goes down very slowly. So a patient of tuberculosis of lung can actually remain infective for up to 8 weeks, even after starting the treatment. One thing. Second thing, a person can be affected of tuberculosis right from head to toe of any organ, but most of the time, 90% of cases which get infection of tuberculosis is actually because of coughing. So it's very importantly said by Dr. Nitesh that any person who has tuberculosis of lung should actually cover his face or mouth while coughing or his nose while sneezing, and they should practice cough hygiene as well as the whatever sputum or the expectoration they are bringing out. It should be discarded very quickly. It should not be lying everywhere on the ground, or they should not spit anywhere, because that sputum is actually the source of bacteria which will spread. So any doctor, any private health services or government health agency alone cannot eradicate tuberculosis. It needs contribution from each and everyone. Even from it needs a contribution and dedication and patient education for the patient. It needs proper education and care from patient's family. And it needs definitely contribution from health services and government.
Dr. Nitish?
So, patients should not, I think, hide their symptoms. Anyone who is having cough or fever for 2 or more weeks should definitely visit their doctors, should get tested and get treatment.
Dr. Ankit?
My observation in this COVID era is that patients, the general public has been greatly educated as to how to prevent respiratory diseases. So the same preventive actions that people are taking to prevent COVID has to be used to prevent other respiratory infections like tuberculosis. So these wearing of masks, using hand hygiene, and using all the respiratory precautions should not be limited only to COVID. I think this has to be continued for a very long time by the general public to prevent other diseases like tuberculosis. So COVID is not the end. I think we should use that same education to prevent other respiratory diseases just as COVID.
Thank you all for joining in. As the theme of World Health Organization, which has a target of at end TB, and the theme itself says that the clock is ticking. Thank you for joining in. Do subscribe to our channel Medical Crib and also like in our Facebook page Medical Crib.